We have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Tamir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man that go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
Touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of everyone welcome.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me.
Every time open a sex gate, my kick, the words, my faith, can't even only be one say. It's like an earthquake, don't calling you out. Creep close to head, just get it from the back. Such a nice place, just a more for all. Keep marching on. Queen royals, we own the throne. Through highs and lows, we stand strong. By haters, we've heard it all before. We'll keep shining while you walk out the door.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Daily Vitamins. All right, so let's get into it. Now, listen. I know I told you guys that I was going to go live at 6, but unfortunately, something has come up that I forgot all about, so I had to go now. Okay, I had to go now. But that all being said, everyone, please get the likes up. Please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right. And so sorry, guys. I know y'all were waiting for 6 o'clock. Some of y'all probably had stuff to do and all of that. But anyway, I digress. So let's get ready to get into it. Hey, Pamela, Obsidian Blaze, Re-Educated Soul. Khalid is here. Nessa G. Christopher Perkins. Miss Cookie. All right. Naja is here. Pamela, Myth King, the Dean. Okay, so let's get into it. XX Frank Nitty. All right. So that all been said, everyone, please get those likes up. All right. Shout out to everyone in the chat, everyone tuning into the Queen. I see you, Ronald. Miss Cookie, I got that nefarious video that you sent me with your niece. And hey, Janie, all hell nah in the house. All right. Shalbeat is here. Darius, Stacy Quentin. But I'm going to show that. Exact is in the house. All right. I'm going to show that, Miss Cookie, but I can't show the video because they were fighting. They were fighting, honey, like cats and dogs. So that all been said, I did some screenshots and I extracted the audio. So listen, guys, before we get started into this stuff with Diddy, I got to show you all this this video. Like I said, you're going to see the screenshots and hear the audio of Miss Cookie's niece and I guess some more family members getting into it with Brad and Karen, or shall I say Karen and Ken. All right, so please pay attention. Now let's get into it. Hey, we the people.
What? What's up? What? What's up? Get your fucking hand on her, bitch. Put your fucking hand on her. What? What the fuck wrong with you? Oh my God! Put your hand on her. Put your hand on her. Put your hand on her. What's wrong with you, bitch? What's wrong with you? Put your fucking hands up. What the fuck? He's bleeding! He's fucking bleeding! Put your hand on fucking female. Bitch ass. His ass cracked out! Back your hands up. Put your hands on that female. Get this bitch off me now! Put your hands up. Get your hands over her. Somebody get her off her! What the fuck? Get your hands over her, mom. Get your hands over her. No, y'all do that fucking bitch! Get the fuck off her! What the fuck? Get your hands over female, bitch. Put your hands over me. Did somebody get you killed?
Window up now. Window!
Where the glasses at? Where the glasses at? Yeah, right to the right, bitch. You got the glasses. Hey, bring the seats right now.
clearly nefarious. Miss Cookie, I don't mean to laugh, but that was hilarious to the queen, honey. What was really going on there? All hell no said, what's happening? Christopher said confusion. Timber Dan said a hot mess. So it looks like whatever the cause for the altercation that erupted was, it clearly looked like Karen took the first swing. Did you all see it? Miss Cookie said they instigated it. I know. Exactly. You can clearly see that. Now, I know I didn't play the video like I told you, but I had enough screenshots so that you could pretty much see how the video went down. Okay, so Karen got all up in their face and then started swinging. Then you see her on the ground. Then you see Bob jump in and starts fighting one of the women. And then you hear the black guy saying, "What are you doing? Don't put your hands on a woman. Go ahead, hit me," and all of this stuff. So honey, it was all crazy. Now, I heard the police were called. They arrived to the scene, and the police also determined that, in fact, Karen and Bob instigated the whole thing. Okay, please pay attention. Miss Cookie says she is 16 years old. This is a darn shame. It's in there fighting grown folk. Okay, because Bob and Karen look like they're in their 50s. Okay, late 50s at that. So that's a darn shame. All right, I'm glad the police were able to decipher who instigated the whole thing. All nefarious. Did y'all see that? Looked like they just rolled up looking for smoke and drama. Okay, so now before we get into the Diddy news, let's talk about some other important things. The cop who took the life of Tamir Rice is back in the news. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Officer who fatally shot Tamir Rice resigns from police department in West Virginia amid public outrage. All right. Now, you remember Tamir Rice was playing with a pellet gun outside at a recreation center or in the on the playground, basically in Cleveland in November of 2014, when he was fatally wounded by Officer Timothy Lohman. And that officer was not fired, okay? Or I'm sorry, I think he was allowed to resign, and then he went on to another department, right? He may have even been fired. I can't really recall, but he didn't get any severe consequences because he should have gone to prison, as far as I'm concerned. Now, he rolled up, and the caller who made the 911 call, I don't even know why they called it in, because they said that it was probably a toy gun. So clearly they weren't in fear. And so why did they call it in? Well, because Tamir is my skin tone. That's probably why. But nonetheless, they said that it looked like or was probably a toy gun. So when the officers pulled up, why did he fire almost instantly upon arriving on the scene? Like 13 seconds is all that may have passed. Now, it goes on to say the former Cleveland officer who fatally shot 12-year-old Tamir Rice in 2014 has resigned from a small police department in West Virginia. Timothy Lohman have been hired to work on a probationary as a probationary police officer and an at-will employee for the city of White Sulphur Springs in southeastern West Virginia. Now, Mayor Kathy Glover said in a statement to NBC News on Monday announcing his resignation. White Sulphur Springs is about 370 miles from Cleveland and has a population of roughly 2,220. Now, this is what they say. As of July the 1st of 2024, Timothy Lohman has resigned his position and is no longer an employee with the city. And she added that because it was a personnel matter, that she would have no further comments. Now, Glover did not immediately return a request for comment about when Lohman was hired and whether she had signed off on it, but likely she did. Please pay attention. All right, she likely did. Now, her statement said Lohman had been hired at the request and recommendation of the chief of police. Now, I want you all to pay attention. So he was giving good recommendation, and it was a request for him to be hired after he did what he did. Now, it goes on to say, this is the second time Lohman has resigned from a police department since he left Cleveland. Now, earlier Monday, before the mayor's announcement, White Sulphur Springs City Council member Thomas Taylor confirmed that Lohman's hiring to NBC. He confirmed Lohman's hiring to NBC News. It was first reported by the Real West Virginia, which is a nonprofit multimedia organization. Now, Taylor said in an interview that only the police chief and the mayor had the power to hire Lohman, and that the city council had no authority over personnel issues and was not involved in his hiring. Okay, so again, the police chief clearly had something to do with it. Okay, so he goes on to say, from what I understand, the chief of police hired him. That's what Taylor says. He said the decision had spurred backlash on social media, and he anticipated the matter would be raised at the next city council meeting, which is scheduled to take place next Monday. Well, he's gone now. Now, reached by phone Monday morning, Chief D.S. Tubert said that he was not at liberty. Please pay attention here. You're never at liberty when you don't want to tell the truth, okay? When you get called out on your BS. But says that he's not at liberty to speak about Lohman, but said he may be at a later time. He did not return requests for comment about Lohman's resignation after it was announced. Now, Tubert confirmed to Cleveland.com that he hired Lohman. He said that he spent a year or so looking into Lohman's background, which included watching videos and reading about Tamir Rice's killing. Saying, just as a person, I looked at the whole situation, Tubert said to the outlet. I did a background check. I researched everything. It's just a bad situation, a sad situation. Does any police officer in the world stand a chance when they're involved in a shooting? Do they deserve to never work again as a police officer? Or is it just this shooting? First of all, I'm sorry. You see how he tries to minimize this? Please pay attention to how he tries to minimize it. He's basically acting as though it's no big deal. It's just one shooting. But a shooting that left someone dead, a child at that. I just want you all to pay attention how they try to make things seem so minuscule, like it's not anything so serious. Like, why are y'all this mad? This is just something that happened once. I already checked his background. Now, Tamir, who was black, was playing with a pellet gun outside a recreation center in Cleveland on November the 22nd of 2024, when he was shot and killed by Lohman seconds after Lohman and his then partner, a veteran training officer, arrived. Lohman and his then partner, Frank Garmbach, had been responding to a 911 call of someone pointing a gun at people. The caller told a 911 dispatcher that it was probably a juvenile and that the gun looked fake, but that was never replayed to Lohman and Garmbach. So they didn't know that the person said that it was likely fake and that the person looked like a juvenile. Please sit down somewhere. And then you remember they tried to say that they thought Tamir was an adult. He was 12 years old. What about him looked like he was 20-something years old, which is what came out in reports back then. Okay, just all lies and BS as far as I'm concerned. So goes on to say, both men said in statements after the shooting that Lohman had given Tamir multiple commands to show his hands before he shot him. I don't believe that. I don't believe that he gave him multiple commands because he was fired upon so quick. And if he did, he didn't give him time to comply because he was literally shot like 13 seconds after he arrived, after the cops arrived. So if you're giving someone multiple commands within a span of 13, let's just even say 20 seconds, when do they have time to comply? When do they have time to comply? And they didn't realize this was a child. Okay, but let me continue. The shooting sparked months of protests over police treatment of black people. A state grand jury decided not to indict Lohman or Garmbach. Now, in May of 2017, about 3 years after he killed Tamir, Lohman was fired from the Cleveland Police Department, which said his 2013 application contained inaccuracies. Yeah, that's what it was. They fired him, but not for taking the life of a child who had, in fact, a toy gun. Okay? They fired him because of inconsistencies on his application. That's what the BS was. Now, in December of 2020, the Justice Department announced that it would not bring federal criminal charges against Lohman and Garmbach, saying quality of the video of the shooting was too poor for prosecutors to conclusively establish what happened. When is the quality of a police recorded video ever so poor that they can't tell what happened? Oh, that's right. When it's going to make them look bad. Okay, please pay attention. Now, a message left at a number publicly listed for Lohman was not immediately returned. He has twice before left jobs at small police departments. In 2022, he resigned from a position with the police department in Tioga, Pennsylvania, after his hiring drew backlash. His attorney, Henry Hillo, said this at the time. And then in 2018, he withdrew his application to become a part-time police officer in Bel Air, Ohio. The department's police chief said then it was following protest from Tamir's mother and others. Good. Okay, they're running him up out of there everywhere he goes, as they should. Now, Tubert told Cleveland.com that he met Loman through friends in the military and that he did not believe Loman had done anything wrong. Well, I'm sure you did. Had he killed a 12-year-old white child? Yeah, everybody would have thought he did something wrong. Okay, everybody would have thought he did something wrong. I want you all to pay attention. How would that have fared? You let any cop, I don't care what race they are, roll up on a 12-year-old white kid at a parking lot or at a playground with a toy gun or even a pellet gun, and they fire on them within seconds of arriving. You don't think they're going to be in big trouble? These people are so full of crap. Now, it goes on to say, what crime was he convicted of? I just want everyone to be fair about this whole thing. If I thought he had done something illegal or wrong in any way, I wouldn't have hired him. Tubert also expressed surprise that the hiring had drawn attention. He says, I know there are two sides to every story, but people just aren't looking at what happened. It's a sad, sad thing that that young man lost his life. I take nothing away from that. You're taking everything away from it when you're trying to make BS excuses and act as though the cop didn't do anything wrong. That's what he said. And then please pay attention to how he framed it when he says that, he wasn't convicted of anything. That doesn't mean anything. You see, at the end of the day, there's something called moral fortitude. There's something called ethical. You can either be ethical or unethical. Okay? Please. There's something called mens rea. Did you have a guilty mind when you did such acts? Okay, slavery, let's not forget, the slave owners, they didn't get convicted either. Were they still not nefarious, low down, dirty criminals? Did they not kidnap, abduct, and traffic human beings, treating them as livestock, as assaulting them, raping them whenever they felt the need or desire, taking their children and selling them off, doing all sorts of negative and sick things that I can't even say? So I'm sorry, but just because they were convicted, they're not criminals? Of course they are. But not by his logic. Please pay attention. Now it goes on to say Cleveland settled a lawsuit with Tamir's family for $6 million. That's hardly, that's hardly enough for what they have to continuously endure. There was no admission of wrongdoing in the settlement. So they still took no accountability at the end of the day. Now, Saboa Chandra, an attorney who represented the estate of Tamir Rice and his family, said Loman should never again be entrusted with a badge and a gun, and questioned why he insists on working as a police officer. Well, maybe he was bullied as a kid, and this is his way of getting back, because that's why some people become police officers. Okay, some people are just cowards, weak, and frail and fragile. And they got bullied and picked on in school. They weren't anything special. No one paid them any attention. They were wallflowers at dances. No one wanted to go to prom with them. They were just lames. So now that they're grown, let me become a police officer. Now I can exact force on other people whom I deem myself superior to. That's how some of them actually think. Now, Timothy Loman should be radioactive to any sensible member of law enforcement or any community, Chandra says. Now, I absolutely agree. Like, get the F out of here. This really just makes my blood boil. It really does at the end of the day. So with that all being said, let me continue. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, let's talk about Young Thug's case. Because that nefarious judge, he clearly needs to be off of it. And as I speak, Young Thug's attorney, Brian Steele, is trying to get him removed, okay? Young Thug's trial on hold as defense tries to get judge removed from the case. And he absolutely should be removed. Because at the end of the day, I definitely think that he was intimidating that witness. And I think that's why he was so bothered about attorney Brian Steele finding out about that ex parte meeting that they had behind his back, okay? At the end of the day. But let me continue. So the judge overseeing the racketeering and gang prosecution against Young Thug and others on Monday put the long-running trial on hold until another judge rules on request by several defendants that he step aside from the case. Now, this just isn't Young Thug. This is several defendants don't want him to have anything to do with it because it's obvious to me that he's biased, and I'm sure it's obvious to them too. Sometimes it be your own people, okay? Maybe he's trying so hard to show that he's not being light on them or being lenient on them because they're black. Maybe that's what he's up to. I don't know. But nonetheless, he's definitely showing bias, and he's acting like a whole criminal, in my opinion. Anytime you want to throw somebody in jail because they found out some shady stuff that you did, that sounds criminal to me, whether it's on the law books or not, and clearly unethical to say the least. Now, lawyers for the rapper and several other defendants have filed motions seeking the recusal of Fulton County Superior Court Chief Judge Earl Glanville after he held a meeting with prosecutors and a prosecution witness at which defendants and defense attorneys were not present. Okay, they said the meeting was improper and said the judge and prosecutors tried to pressure the witness who had been granted immunity into giving testimony. Sounds like witness intimidation to me. Pressuring someone to do something they don't want to do. Now, jurors who were already on, and then not to mention, he was given immunity, but then allegedly they were telling him, oh, we're going to put you back in jail. We'll send you back to prison and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely sounds like intimidation. Now, jurors who were already on a break until July the 8th would be notified that they will not be needed until the matter is resolved, says Judge Glanville. Now, this is the latest delay in the trial that has dragged on for over a year, in part because of numerous problems. Jury selection in the case began in January of 2023 and took nearly 10 months. Opening statements were in November. The prosecution has been presenting its case since then, calling in dozens of witnesses. Now, Young Thug, a Grammy winner whose given name is Jeffrey Williams, was charged 2 years ago in a sprawling indictment accusing him and more than 24 other people of conspiring to violate Georgia's anti-racketeering law. He also is charged with gang, drug, and gun crimes and is standing trial with 5 of the others indicted with him. They're trying to make an example out of them, in my opinion. Now, Glanville last month held Young Thug's attorney Brian Steele in contempt for refusing to tell the judge how he found out about the out-of-court meeting. Steele was ordered to serve 10 consecutive weekends in jail, but the Georgia Supreme Court put that penalty on hold pending an appeal. Now, during a hearing Monday without jurors present, Glanville said that he would release the transcript of the meeting that he had with prosecutors and state witness Kenneth Copeland and Copeland's lawyer. He said he would also allow another judge to decide whether he should be removed from the case. Well, I hope that judge does the right thing and kicks him off of it. Now, Glanville told the attorneys he would enter the order sending the recusal matter to another judge, adding that we'll see you in a little bit, depending upon how it's ruled upon. All right. Okay, Your Honor, do you have a timeline of when the motion to recuse may be heard? This is what Prosecutor Simone Hilton asked. He says, don't know. Then says that the court clerk has to assign it to another judge. I don't have anything to do with that. Hilton asked if the matter could be expedited, citing concerns about holding jurors indefinitely. Glanville said that he understood that concern and that he hoped it would be acted upon quickly. Now, Glanville has maintained that there was nothing improper about the meeting, except that he didn't bother to let the defense know about it and didn't include them in it when it was everything to do with their client. Okay. He said prosecutors requested it to talk about Copeland's immunity agreement. Young Thug has been wildly successful since he began rapping as a teenager, and he serves as CEO of his own record label, Young Stoner Life, or YSL. Artists on his label are considered part of the Slime family, and a compilation album, Slime Language 2, rose to #1 on the charts in April of 2021. But prosecutors say YSL also stands for Young Slime Life, which they allege is an Atlanta-based violent street gang affiliated with the National Bloods gang and founded by Young Thug and 2 others back in 2012. Prosecutors say people named in the indictment are responsible for violent crimes, including killings, shootings, and carjackings, to collect money for the gang. Okay, they say Burnish They're supposed to collect money for the gang, burnish its reputation, and expand its power and territory. You know, it seems to me like if they were actually doing all of these things, that this should be easy to prove. Michael said the FBI is a gang. Okay, well, I know the police department sure is. And in fact, like I told you all before, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office, under the rule of former Sheriff Alex Villanueva, definitely had gangs. That was just the fact. The banditos and the executioners. Okay, so the nerve of them to be talking about somebody being in gangs, they should indict themselves. Okay, some of these officers need to indict their own police departments. And in fact, you know, a few years ago, did you all know that there was actually a Florida police department where everybody literally got fired? Okay, it was reported that everybody at the departments got fired. Okay, for participating in something to do with drugs. I think drug cartels, if I'm not mistaken. I remember reported on that. Okay, Greta said it's not easy to prove they are making up things as the trial proceeds. Okay, it's not easy to prove, and they're making up things as the trial proceeds. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. But hold on. Let's talk about this, because this is also egregious. Did you all know that this man, hold on, let me cue this real quick. So I want you all to pay attention, because this white man over in the UK decapitated this black teenager on his way to school. Now, they say they don't have a motive for the killing, but it sounds to me like a hate crime. If I just had to take a guess, it sounds like a hate crime. Other people were also injured, but this young man lost his life. He was murdered with a samurai sword. Okay, and so let's get into it. Likes up, everyone. Please get the likes up. Thank you in advance. Let me put my overlay on here really quick. Okay, here we go.
We're tracking a developing story out of London where a 13-year-old boy is dead after a man allegedly attacked him with a sword today. 4 other people, including 2 police officers, were hurt. Gloria is at the live desk now with what we know.
Good morning, Stephanie. Police arrested a 36-year-old man after he drove into a home in London and then attacked people with a sword. Now, the scary scene played out around 7 a.m. local time today. You can see the video right there. Police say they responded to a serious incident when the car plowed into a home. They got reports of multiple people stabbed. Witnesses say they saw officers taser the man and take him down with a sword in hand. A 13-year-old boy has died from his injuries. 4 others, including 2 police officers, were hurt in the attack. Their conditions are not known at this time. The motive is not clear, but police say this incident does not appear to be terror-related and that there is no threat to the community. So we'll have the very latest for you on this story.
Yeah, I find that all very interesting. Now, he even injured a police officer, and they didn't take his life. Now, I emphasize that because we know how it goes down in the United States when a person of my skin tone doesn't injure a police officer either. And in fact, it's not even, holding a weapon. They're unarmed. We see how that turns out. Look at the case of Tamir Rice. But meanwhile, this man had a whole samurai sword over there chopping people left and right and even decapitated someone, supposedly. All right, even injured a police officer, but there he is, taken off to jail, still alive. Please pay attention. All nefarious, like I said. Like I said, okay? Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, I'm going to go to this video. Let me make sure I have it first. Hold on, beloveds. Yeah, I'm going to go to this video where this black veteran, this made me so annoyed. This black veteran was basically forced to urinate on himself, you see, because the police didn't want to let him use the restroom. And he has a medical condition. And not only did they do that, they humiliated him further by laughing at it. Okay, they laughed at him. I want you all to pay attention. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, here's what they say. And then he was supposed to have a meeting, and they had all these excuses as to why certain officers didn't show up. Okay, Dallas cops roar with laughter after disabled military vet urinated on himself. 4 Dallas police officers are under investigation after they were caught on video laughing at a disabled military veteran who urinated on himself when he was prohibited from using a restaurant bathroom. Now, U.S. Army vet Danielle Lane told the Dallas Police Department's Oversight Board that 2 off-duty cops working security at Sirius Pizza refused to let him into the restroom around 2:15 a.m. on June the 10th, despite his efforts to show them his medical paperwork documenting his medical issues. Oh, they didn't care. They didn't give any F's. Lane was, who is disabled on deployment in the Middle East, or who was disabled on deployment in the Middle East, said he called 911, but responders did not arrive before he wet himself. The Dallas Police Department failed me, he says. This is what he told the board at a monthly meeting. He says 2 Dallas officers discriminated against me and declined to assist me in bridging the gap between myself and the Sirius Pizza manager. Now, body camera footage of one of the 2 off-duty cops shows 2 other uniformed officers arrive at the pizza joint and ask about a report of someone who pissed themselves. Okay, so you guys made a guy pee himself? So they think it's all funny, think it's a darn joke. This is what really gets under my skin. Let me share my screen so you all can see this. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
I'm not buying this.
At City Hall tonight,
I'm not crazy here. This was on video. We all saw it.
voices of frustration echo on behalf of a combat army veteran.
I want to apologize to you because, to be honest with you, I'm pissed off.
Apologies to Dynell Lane come from the city's Community Police Oversight Board. They cite lack of action on an investigation surrounding 4 Dallas police officers. In June last year, Lane went to Sirius Pizza in Deep Ellum when 2 off-duty officers working security told him he couldn't use the restroom. 2 more officers arrived on duty.
What are you guys commenting now?
Body cameras on.
Somebody find out why they pissed themselves. You guys made a guy pee himself? Yeah.
Laughing because Lane urinated himself when he was denied the bathroom earlier.
Yeah.
The 4 uniformed officers didn't check for ID or medical records, so they did not know Lane was injured while serving overseas, leaving him with a disability that causes emergency use of a bathroom.
And then he calls back and says it's okay, he doesn't need DPD anymore because he used soil.
Thank you for being here today.
8 months after the interaction with DPD, Lane thought he would get answers.
Just let me know what's the verdict.
Instead, a memo from Dallas Police Chief Eddie Garcia reads the investigation is on hold.
An officer involved in the investigation is currently on leave due to Family Medical Leave Act.
There's no timeline of when it will resume.
And that is unacceptable.
While looking for help, Lane was left with hurt, and the frustration is shared at City Hall tonight.
This should be a done deal.
The Community Police Oversight Board will now be writing a letter to the city manager and including the city council and the chief of police in that letter, demanding more action be taken. They hope that this investigation will move forward soon. In Dallas, I'm Tiffany.
Just all a whole load of BS, and it's already been 8 months. It's already been 8 months since this happened, and then he gets there and they come up with this BS excuse talking about the cop had some type of medical emergency with the family or whatever. Yeah, I'm sure he did. Okay. And then at the end of the day, that cop's sitting there laughing like it's funny. Like it's a whole joke. Oh, you guys made someone piss themselves. Stupid. Just real ignorant, okay, as far as I'm concerned. As far as I'm concerned. Now, but here's something else I wanted to talk about. I want to bring this to you all's attention. Let's talk about Biden and Kabami. Because, you know, they think they are so slick. And I don't know if they think all of us are stupid, but they darn sure think a lot of us are. Okay, and sadly, some of it's true. Okay, please pay attention. With that all being said, now listen to this. Biden administration announces a $16 billion hole. Biden administration announces $16 billion in the hole of government investments. Now they're talking about all this money that they've given to HBCUs. I find that interesting because what does that have to do with the rest of us? I didn't go to an HBCU. I didn't graduate from one at the end of the day. So that's not benefiting me. You see, I want you to pay attention because what they're trying to do is make it look like this is some form of reparation. We've already given you guys stuff. You got $16 billion worth of stuff we're giving out. We're giving all this money to these HBCUs. Please pay attention. Now, here's what it says. While historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs, have received remarkable investments over the past few years, leaders with the nonpartisan nonprofit United Negro College Fund are arguing that more can be done. HBCUs have been chronically underfunded systematically since inception, says the UNCF president and CEO, Dr. Michael L. Lomax. While the efforts of the Biden-Harris administration are helpful, let me be clear. More is needed via federal and state governments as well as our philanthropic partners. Now, Lomax said that the Biden-Harris administration has prioritized HBCUs to levels like no other, with over $16 billion in investments. That includes funds through the administration's Stupid 19 American Rescue Plan law and its education department strengthening HBCUs and student help-focused Pell Grant programs. They say this historic investment is transformative from helping to fund cutting-edge research and making long overdue renovations to providing mental health resources and ensuring students have access to every opportunity to thrive. This is what Vice President Kamala Harris said. Please pay attention. Also, as an HBCU graduate of Howard University herself, she thinks that this means they're really doing something, like they're really putting in work for Black folk. But here's the problem with all of that. Because the last I checked, not only Black people go to HBCUs, there's people who don't look like us, okay, from every race and ethnic group that go to HBCUs these days. Now, they started HBCUs decades ago because Black folk weren't allowed to go to the regular universities that the white folk went to. And that's why it gets under my skin when you hear some white folks saying, oh, Black people are racist. They have their own universities. They have their own this, their own that. First of all, anything that Black people have only for Black people is because they had to, because otherwise they wouldn't have had anything. That's how that goes. So please pay attention. And then they talk about, oh, they have Black History Month. Well, I'm sorry, but 12 months out of the year is White History Month. Isn't that what they teach in school throughout? And now they don't even want to teach Black history, and it's true. They're talking about getting rid of critical race theory and all of that. And all they ever truly taught us about Black history when we were in school, those of us who are now passed on and who are out of school and those who are still there, the only thing they really taught back then was what? Civil rights and slavery. I'm sorry, did they teach us the real truth? Of course not. That's all they gave us, was the downtrodden part of it. Not how some of our ancestors were kings and queens and emperors and all of that over in Ethiopia and all of those things. No, they don't talk about that. Timbuktu, they don't mention it. How they didn't just bring slaves over here. They brought doctors, mathematicians, numerologists, astrologers, scientists, biologists, all of these people who had a myriad of skills, inventors. That's what they brought over here. Why do you think so many Black people have created things that the slave owners took credit for, mind you? Because they had the wherewithal to do so, because they owned the people who created the things that they took credit for. Okay, so please pay attention. And not to go in on anybody that goes to an HBCU, shout out to you, but it is a known fact, okay, this is just being truthful, that many of the people who look like us, that are raccoons, many of them came from HBCUs, Kamala Harris included. Now, she doesn't even look like us, but she tries to when it's time for, election to come around. Starts putting the little Bantu knots in her hair, dancing to Cardi B, and eating fish with hot sauce and all of that, and talking about she cooks collard greens. You all have seen her do the foolishness. Please pay attention. So it's just all a ruse. So like I said, she goes on to brag about what all they've done for HBCUs. Now they say such efforts are purposeful, says Ladrigus Murray, Senior Vice President, Public Policy and Government Affairs at UNCF, saying that the funds in the $16 billion number showcase a dual strategy that we at UNCF have also embraced, prioritizing institutions and students. Now, infrastructure funds are necessary for institutions, and students coming from a lower socioeconomic background must have the Pell Grant doubled. We at UNCF want to work with everyone to ensure these outcomes are achieved. So like I said, they think they're really doing something. Is that what we're supposed to think? We're supposed to feel like they really are doing something. They can't give us reparations, but they do have $16 billion just to spread around, okay, for nonsense that's not going to be doing anything for most of us. How many Black people in the United States, just think about it now, how many Black people in the United States actually go to HBCUs? What's the percentage? What's the percentage of Black people in the United States that actually attend and graduate from HBCUs? I'm sure it's very small. Some of us go to other colleges, and some of us just don't go to college. So how is that benefiting the multitude of Black folk? It isn't. But reparations would. Reparations for the descendants of slaves in this country would absolutely benefit all of us. We'd all get our fair share. We'd all get some form of compensation. They don't want to do that. That's too much like right. Reggie says the slavery law was on the books. It was legal to own Black people as property. Exactly. Exactly. Easy says, absolutely. Thank you, beloved. So this is just all crazy. All crazy. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about Diddy. Because Diddy needs to sit down somewhere. Okay, Diddy was spotted, according to TMZ, out whitewater rafting. Like he's having the time of his life, like everything's all good. You see, Diddy may not be as worried as one should be in his predicament because, like I told you, he's got the goods. And he's definitely bartering for his freedom. And now that Julian Assange is out, well, he's probably really thinking that it's looking a little bit more hopeful for him. Please pay attention. So Diddy spotted water rafting in Wyoming amid mounting legal trouble. Diddy has been hit with over 5 sexual assault and abuse lawsuits since November of 2023. Okay, he's been in some deep water lately with the mounting legal trouble. So he decided to jump into even deeper waters. Their words, not mine. And that's whitewater rafting, that is. Now, TMZ captured the mogul in action in Jackson Hole, Wyoming on Sunday, June 30th, hitting the waters with 2 other unnamed figures and an activity guide. The disgraced star can be seen getting in a workout, paddling down the river without a care in the world. You know what I want to know? I want to know who's more concerned right now at this point with all of this stuff that's going on. Christopher said Diddy is working with the CIA and the feds. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised. I absolutely think he's working with the FBI for sure. But my thing is, I'm just wondering at this point, who's the most concerned? Diddy or the people that Diddy has the goods on? Diddy are the people that are on some of those FO tapes and other tapes doing alleged illegal activities, as Rodney Jones said. I wonder who's more concerned. But let me continue. Now, elsewhere, Sean Combs recently had a day named in his honor revoked. The outlet reported that on Friday, June 28th, the Miami Beach Commission voted to revoke and abolish Sean Diddy Combs' day in the 305. The commission cited 2006 surveillance footage showing the businessman abusing and beating Cassie on camera at a hotel. The Miami Herald reported that the final decision to overrule his commemorative day arrived on Wednesday, June 26th with no debate. According to TMZ, Combs initially received the honor in October of 2016, months after the events on the surveillance video took place. You know, that's something to think about. That's something to think about because I hadn't even thought about that. You all realize that they literally were giving this fool a whole day of celebration and honoring him right after he beat the brakes off of poor Cassie in that hotel. Because he was given this in October of 2016 and he was beating Cassie's butt in 2016 on that footage. Please pay attention. This is also nefarious. Now, the footage also garnered a response from Diddy, who apologized to his ex-girlfriend, Cassie. Combs claimed to be disgusted by his inexcusable behavior and said he sought therapy for it. The apology felt empty to some fans because Puffy has consistently declared that he was innocent of any allegations against him since November of 2023. In fact, he released his first statement a month after Cassie's November bombshell lawsuit. Remember that? Enough is enough. for the last couple of weeks. Y'all remember how it all went. However, in a strange change of heart, he suddenly deleted the apology and all of the rest of his posts from Instagram in June. Yeah, so let's talk about that, because I meant to tell you all this earlier on the main channel when we talked about Diddy today. And if you missed that broadcast, please go back and watch. I forgot to tell you all, you know, when Diddy deleted his Instagram post, and you know, someone was saying, Fake Nancy Drew was saying that, you know, the feds probably already screenshot it or whatever, or got their intern to screenshot it. First of all, that's clearly ridiculous. Well, of course, this information has been preserved. And, you know, let's not forget, Tyrone Blackburn, in the lawsuit, in the complaint, okay, he said that he wanted all of this stuff preserved, all electronic communications, everything, emails, video footage, anything posted to his social media, all of that, he wanted it preserved because it could be evidence. And here's the thing. You have to also think about the fact that when you're a person who posts on social media, sometimes that can be exact proof of certain things. For example, when you post on social media, it gives the time that you posted. Now, it may not have it down to the wire, the exact time, but it'll show that, oh, you posted this 4 hours ago. So if somebody accuses you of murder, for example, robbing a bank, whatever, and they say you did this 4 hours ago, and then if you were on live on social media, okay, if you were posted on social media, then you could argue, when did I have time to do all of that? But at the same token, social media can also expose you. It can expose your lies. It could show evidence that could be detrimental to you. So at the end of the day, I don't think Diddy deleted that stuff, you know, just to try to hide anything, because he knows by now, of course, I'm sure he's at least smart enough to know, unlike Nancy Drew, he's smart enough to know that the feds already have everything they need off of all of his social media. The reason I'm thinking that he likely took it all down is to basically give himself peace of mind, so he doesn't have to continuously watch the things that are being posted and commented on about him. And also, likely, now this is just my guess, because what do I know, but also for what I'm about to tell you, because I know that he knew this already was coming. And he likely didn't want people going in on him on Instagram about it. Because what's going on here, people? I'm so glad you asked. You see, Diddy's own son, Justin Combs, has teamed up with 50 Cent, Diddy's arch nemesis, his arch rival, the one who trolls him consistently, the one who's always clowning him and going in on him. His son, Justin, has teamed up with 50. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Be sure to like and share. Thank you in advance. I mean, if it couldn't get any worse for Diddy, how does this even happen, right? But hey, now that Diddy's losing all this money, he's got all these allegations, even facing criminal prosecution. Well, somebody's got to make the money. Didn't I tell you all that months ago when his son Justin, Christian King Combs, put out that whack diss about 50? And then he recently put out another song that's also whack, by the way. I said somebody's got to try to make the money, because now I guess he's picking up where Diddy left off. Please pay attention. Justin Combs appears on Power Book 2, Ghost, as 50 Cent continues to mock Diddy. 50 Cent, why the hell is one of Diddy's sons in this episode? So Justin Combs' appearance in the latest episode of Power Book 2, Ghost, has left fans confused, as Combs' father, Sean Diddy Combs, has been incessantly trolled by Power executive producer 50 Cent amid allegations of physical abuse and assault. Now, on the show's 4th episode of this current season, Justin Combs, who plays a college student attending fictional college Stansfield, briefly interacts with the show's protagonist, Tyreek St. Patrick, played by Michael Rainey Jr. Now, this happens on campus, a sighting that left many viewers perplexed due to Fifth's mockery of his father. Now, what do you all make of this? I find it absolutely hilarious. Okay. Re-educated Soul said, your son working with your top op is crazy work. Shaking my head. It absolutely is. Your son working for and with your arch nemesis is wild. Okay? It's pretty wild. Meanwhile, you're out here whitewater rafting like the world's your oyster and that it's all gravy. I find it all so nefarious. Reggie says 50 is strategic and calculated. I wonder what his end game is. Honey, I would love to know. I would absolutely love to know. The Prince of Paraphernalia says, that's funny as hell. Okay, is it not? Right? It said Justin is just as bad. Okay. Southwest Houston says, isn't Justin Combs the one who got some girl pregnant and Diddy took her to get a termination? You know, I don't know. I don't know, beloved. I hadn't heard anything about that. News to me. But I do know that Justin is the one that was supposedly dating Steve Harvey's daughter, Lori Harvey. And then Diddy started dating her right after. Please pay attention. Hey, Danielle, beloved. Okay. Leon said exactly. All right. This is all crazy, but let me continue. Remember, folks, you heard it here first. So in response, a number of fans took to social media to share their reaction to Combs' Power Book 2 cameo, expressing their disbelief that he would appear on the show, given 50's apparent disdain for Diddy. 50 Cent, why the hell is one of Diddy's sons in this episode? This is what one social media user wrote in a Power fan group, saying, I was like, what the F is he doing here? Other users noted that the 4th season of Power Book 2 Ghost, particularly the scene featuring Combs, was shot well before 5th began to publicly ridicule Diddy and that he had previously appeared on the show. Here's the thing. He's been trolling and showing disdain for Diddy for years, way before the lawsuits. So even if it was shot before that, he's always, for years, at least a decade, I do believe, been Diddy's nemesis. Let's not forget how he called him Fruity or Fruit Loops. Y'all remember that? Let's not forget how he clowned him on the Breakfast Club, saying that Diddy wanted to take him shopping. Let's not forget he's been constantly trolling this man for years. So even if he was on there before this whole thing with the SI allegations and all these lawsuits, bottom line is he was already beefing with Diddy. That's just the fact. Now, another sentiment expressed was that Diddy's actions should not affect his son's prospects for employment and career advancement. Please, honey, let me say something. If somebody didn't like my father and was constantly trolling and clowning him for years, I could never. Okay, I don't care what they were paying. My loyalty would be to my dad. But I digress. So then they go on to say, kids are off limits. He is not his father, one fan of the show wrote. He deserves to have a job and live like anyone else. We all have to eat. Well, this is true. But I don't want to eat off of the plate of the person who's throwing rocks at my dad. That's what I don't want to do. Now, commenters also noted that Power Book 2 Ghost, actress and R&B star Mary J. Blige is Justin's mother. Is Justin's godmother. As the decades-long friendship between Mary J. Blige and Justin's mother, Misa Hilton Brim, is well documented. What does that have to do with anything? I mean, we know Mary J. Blige plays on the show, but what does that have to do with Justin working with 50, knowing that his father and 50 don't get along? I'm sorry. I failed to see the significance of that. Justin Combs isn't the only member of Diddy's family that appeared in the Power universe. Quincy Brown, Combs' stepson, was cast in a recurring role as Crown Camacho in the popular Power spinoff Power Book 3, Raising Cain. However, his character was killed off in 2022 during the show's 2nd season, more than a year prior to the string of allegations against Diddy surfaced. This is all nefarious. I bet Diddy is somewhere right now singing "It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp." Okay, please pay attention. I bet 50 is, I'm not 50, I bet Diddy is somewhere singing "It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp," honey. Okay? Your own son, your own flesh and blood, out here working with 50 cents. Yeah, I'd really feel like a piece of shite if I were Diddy at this point. But meanwhile, he's out there water rafting like it's all gravy train. Please pay attention. Okay, and so that all been said. Definitely crazy. And you know, all this stuff is coming down on Diddy. Every other day, there's something being reported. Just days ago, they had the story about him getting dropped by the law firm that he's been with for 20 years. They said Lady Gaga wanted that to happen. Then they came back and said the attorneys didn't say that it was Lady Gaga. Now, somebody lied and said that Lady Gaga said keep her name out of it. But that's not what Lady Gaga said. An insider said that Lady Gaga didn't have that conversation. Lady Gaga hasn't said anything as of yet about that. And I don't think that she will, because I absolutely think that Lady Gaga absolutely put in that request. And I showed you all, if you missed that video, please go back and watch, but I showed you all the receipts. Lady Gaga is a victim of sexual assault herself, had been triggered and was so, traumatized by it that she suffered a psychotic break. Okay, she suffered a whole psychotic break. So it's a whole lot going on with Diddy. It's a whole lot going on with Diddy. Now, the people at UMG, Lucian Grange, Ethiopia have to marry him. All of them want to separate from him. And now, according to the filings that Tyrone Blackburn put out on Monday, please pay attention, he's saying that he basically removed him from the lawsuit because, hey, Diddy may have even defrauded them. So all of this stuff's coming out, okay? And if you missed that broadcast on the main channel, please go back and watch it. Like I said, tomorrow, I have some more receipts on Diddy. This is all nefarious, okay? Remember, Diddy hasn't confessed to anything. He's not said or admitted that he's done any of these things. The information I'm going to bring out tomorrow, Diddy has not said that he's done this either. But I think it's all very interesting and that Diddy absolutely had a hand in it. So tune in tomorrow morning because I promise you, you do not want to miss this. All right? You don't want to miss it. Reggie says they all circling the drain. I think it's like Dynasty on steroids. Okay? This is all like a Netflix special. All right? Christopher says that's why she disappeared for so many years. Yeah, exactly, beloved. I absolutely agree. Okay, Leon Gardner said exactly. Where's the loyalty? Right. Okay, I guess you got to do what you got to do, honey, and how you do it. Here's the thing. Justin probably said to himself, where was Diddy's loyalty when he dated Lori Harvey after he dated him? And that made me look at Lori Harvey real crazy herself because you dated the son allegedly and then you dated the father? Yeah. That's just like nasty to me. I'm sorry. Please make it all make sense. All right? Diddy do it. Diddy do it. That needs to be on a t-shirt. It says POP. Reggie says, Diddy is the nefarious Cecil Colby. Okay. Overthought said, can't be loyal to an MF with no money coming in. All right. Well, hey, I guess you got to get grimy. All right, I guess you got to get grimy out there in them streets. Sissy says the person who made the call to cause that child to lose his life should be charged too. Yeah, with the Tamir Rice, absolutely. I felt like they should have too. Absolutely. It's like filing a false police report as far as I was concerned. All right, so with that all being said, everyone please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell. Click the word all so you're notified each time Queen Goddess goes live. I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Don't forget to tune in the morning. I'm going to try to go live early in the morning, okay? I'm going to try to go live about maybe 8:30 or 9. I didn't say I was absolutely. I said I'm going to try. You all know that these things are subject to change. Just like today, I went earlier than 6. So, but with that all being said, I'm going to try. I'm going to try to go earlier in the morning. Dorana said, poor Sugar Smacks. Reggie said, ain't nothing going on but the Ritz. Okay. Christopher said, thank you for your work, Queen. You're welcome, beloved. Reggie says, great broadcast. Thank you. Okay, so listen, I love you all to life. Each one teach one is how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Hit him with that flavor all in my skin, God all in my blood. King
Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got